Believe. Become. Be great.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Peeling Back the Greatness. We're here yet with another episode of Season 2. I'm very reluctant to have many major and big-time guests on. So today I have a full group here. I got some amazing people that are going to talk a little bit about themselves, their brand, their story, just kind of how they got to this point, you know. Again, Peeling Back the Greatness, you already know the deal. You know how we roll, baby. Let's go. First, I'm going to introduce, I got J.EX. J.EX, welcome back.
What's going
Welcome
on,
back
y'all?
to the episode.
J.EX from the BX, you already know. I'm with the whole squad right now. Well, some of the squad, but we about to go and introduce my man on the left side.
Yep, and we got Brandon. So Brandon, this is Brandon's first time. Is this your first time on a podcast, bro?
It's not my first time on a podcast, but
Alright.
this one specifically, yes.
Making his Peeling Back the Greatness debut. We got three making their Peeling Back the Greatness debut. So Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Also, I want to get to Chris.
What's up?
Welcome, Chris.
Hello.
And then Josh. Welcome to everybody's debut to Peeling Back the Greatness. So
Yeah,
Glad to be here. Glad to be
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Morning
Let's
pop.
get it.
We in a room full of greatness.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Cut it back.
yes, sir. Let's go. So first thing I want to get into. So everybody here has success. We all come from the same. Come from Colorado Media School. By the way, shout out to Colorado Media School. I had an amazing time there. I know everybody. I know you guys had an amazing time there as well. And I want to kind of get into. I'm going to start off with Brandon. I want to kind of get into a little bit about who you are. Behind Good Karma, man, because it's a big brand. I do see it. I feel like I see it quite often.
Yeah.
Especially all these events that we're doing, man. So why don't you talk a little bit about, again, who you are and where Good Karma came from?
Yeah, so as you guys already know, my name is Brandon. I grew up in a small town on the border of Indiana and Kentucky. We just call it Louisville, Kentucky. So that's where I came from. I've been out in Denver for about 10 years or so. Man, honestly, I've had time in the service industry. I've had time in the military. I've really just had an array of different experiences that really kind of led me here, man. Honestly, we could talk all day about the in and outs of, the upbringing or whatever. But the most important thing, though, is just that we're here now and really trying to capitalize that and make the most for the communities that we belong to now. So,
Good stuff, man. What are some things that you kind of come across, especially because the road to success, as we all know here, is not easy.
no.
There's a lot of trials and tribulations. More than people really even think about, right? What are some things that along the way that really kind of changed the game for you?
Man, that's a really good question. I think the whole thing is just like a continual learning experience. The difference is what allows someone to keep doing the thing or laying down and quitting, I think, is their ability to be open to new ideas and to be flexible. Another important one too is that, like, although we do live in an age of information and it's so accessible, not all that info is good, and not all of it is going to help you in the moment that you need it. So in the midst of you growing and learning and trying to, like, develop and grow your thing, like, you have to be able to, like, understand what pieces of information are the ones you want to keep and utilize, and what's just kind of like trash. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'll give you guys a big one. It might seem obvious to a lot of you all, but when I decided to become an entrepreneur, I didn't realize how much money needed to be allocated to marketing myself. And although it seems pretty obvious, why don't you go listen to somebody talk about starting a business? And I guarantee that's probably the last thing you're going to find out is that half of your budget should probably just be like marketing, promoting, press runs,
Facts.
all that stuff. So at least for me, man, it's been an interesting circle. I'll tell you that.
What has it been? Has it been a risk for you, you know what I mean? Like investing into yourself and making this your main thing? Or is it something that you know that is going to be rewarding Like, what is it? Or is there even a balance of like, oh, this could be a risk, but I know if I do this. Oh, yeah, my bad, y'all. Yeah, so my question was, thank you. Is this more of a risk, or is it more of like a rewarding situation with your investments and your time that you're putting into this? Or is it a balance of both? And, you know what I mean? What can you help with other people going through that? Because I know what you go through, and yo, you going to be big one day. It's not a risk in my eyes.
Well, I appreciate it, brother, for sure, for sure.
Of course.
You know, I don't want to get too long-winded with this one, but I'm gonna start with this, man. If you got kids out there, just show them love. That's probably the most important thing you could do, because, you know, a lot of why I'm here, to be honest with y'all, is because I was given that as a kid, like, do what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm working hard. So I'm fortunate enough to have had a parent that was like, all right, I'm going to bust my chops or whatever to do what I got to do so that you can go and be what you want to be. And believe it or not, y'all, like, I really straight up ask my people too, like, yeah, I'm kind of getting to this point. Like, I don't want to be living like in this kind of way that's what I think you all want me to do. And some people live with that, you know, like, oh, go be a doctor or whatever. Nah, just want you to do what you want to do out there, see the things you want to see, and have the experiences. Say less. Say less for me. Thank you, because, man, that's just like the most important. So, yeah, I absolutely have a strong belief in myself. I don't question that, although I think some of us do, depending on what we're going through. But generally speaking, man, I don't got no problem with that. And plus, I'm at the age too, y'all. Most of us are at the age too where it's like, yo, it's kind of like now or never. I'm not 20, you know.
Whoa, yes we are. Don't let them know our age.
And I know it's the age. Like, you ain't got no kids either, as much as I don't. So it gives an open space for us to actually move and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
Take care of the kids and all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So getting older, things are like a little bit more calculated. I'm a little bit more aware of like what actions and what like kind of motion you have, what it can lead to. So yeah, man, I'm here. I don't really have any doubt in what I got going on. Yeah. My biggest mystery is how it must unfold. But to me, yo, they say the journey is everything. Like, so that's what I'm here for. Yeah.
No, that's beautiful. So before I get into Chris and Josh, so I do want, you know, I kind of want to talk about what, you know, I mean, yeah, everything we do, okay, if you have kids out there, that's always been my biggest thing. Okay, of course we do everything for our kids, you know, but my question has always been dive deeper. You know, it's a given. It's a given to want the best for our kids. Our kids are going to inherit everything that we're building. But dive deeper than that. Like, what is it? What is it, you know? Me personally, like I say, I have 2 daughters of my own, and I'm not going to get up and, you know, I'm going to make the excuse, oh, I do it for my daughters. Of course I do it for my daughters. Yeah. Of course I do, but that's like, it's got to be more. It's got to be more than just that, you know? So I just feel like when it comes to certain situations, like you said, you know, it just really, it's got to be something that really, I mean, the thing that brought us this far already. Obviously, we all know, you know, some of the vision and the purpose at hand. I mean, like, we're doing some crazy things right now. I mean, we're doing a whole lot out in the industry. You know, but yeah, so I'm gonna kind of give you guys the floor, Chris and Josh. You know, tell the people a little bit about yourself, your brand, you know, the Weird House Productions, and you know, really, like, what steps did you take to say, you know what, this is what I want to do?
Bro, to be honest with you, coming from a small town in Virginia where there's like literally nothing going on, bro, music was my escape from day one, like from 10 years old. You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that like Chris Brown and the Clips and a lot of legendary artists came from both North Carolina, where I was born, and Virginia, where I grew up.
Shout out Petey.
So it's kind of like a double dose of like, bro, if you really gonna do this, like, go make it happen. You know what I'm saying? And my parents were very much like, I know you want this, but don't expect nobody to give it to you. Don't expect no handouts. Don't expect no free answers. Don't expect people to jump on board just because you excited about it. Like, so that's always kind of like tempered this over excited passion that I have for everything. it's like I get very excited, but then I also have to remember that not everybody perceives my idea the way I perceive it. You know what I'm saying? And not everybody's going to be as enthusiastic about it as I am, especially if they've never been around the type of person who is willing to put in the energy to really make some shit happen. You know what I'm saying? Because we all come across people who like to just talk and like to tell you what they want to do one day, what their idea is. But then when you're like, okay, well, let's do it. There's like, oh, wait, you actually want to do it, and you want to do it now, and you want to do it here? You're like, well, I'm going to need like a year's notice, or I'm going to need like 10 bands. And I'm like, my whole thing has been like, no, you don't.
They got a dream, but they always sleeping on it.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's like I've seen so many different celebrities and entrepreneurs and artists be like, oh well, if you really want your shit to pop, you got to put $1 million in, or you got to have 100,000 for this and 100,000 for that. And then going through the process, I meet people that are just like, no, you don't, bro. Just go to Hobby Lobby and make it look like you spent $1 million.
Exactly.
They ain't gonna know the difference.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's that level of like, all right, if I really want to do this professionally, I can do it professionally. I just have to scale it to what I can actually do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And that's been a core of a lot of what Weird House is being able to meet people where they are and take their vision and say, okay, I understand you want to win a Grammy, but what's step one? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you even make people pay attention to you enough so that you can achieve your dream? So you're gonna have to start small. And it's like, that's where I put most of my creativity, is looking at, okay, how do you take something small, something local, and you give it the credibility that it could go professional. You know what I'm saying? So it will be taken seriously.
Yeah.
And that's where I aim a lot of my passion. I aim a lot of the focus of my business, and I aim a lot of my networking and relationships on just like, bro, I understand we all had to start at the bottom. So if we're going to start at the bottom, let's do it correctly.
Right. Yep.
Yo, I think that's. Let me chime in here real quick.
go ahead.
I think that's an amazing thing, and also a space that you're feeling, because, and I heard this what you were saying just earlier. It's like people think that you need a lot of money to start a thing, and then there's the group of people who don't have the capital, but don't even know how to take what they have to make the thing.
Exactly.
So if you're able to fill both of those spaces, man, you're up.
And then the thing is, a lot of people don't know that you can start something big for no money. Like, bro, it only took me $50 to start my business. The IRS gives you the EIN and shit like that for free.
Yep.
People think you got to go through LegalZoom and spend all this $1,000. No, bro, they give you shit for free. The Social Secretary of State is $50. Boom, you got a business. Let's go make some money.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too. Especially, I mean, a lot of stuff is learning along the way. You know, I know I damn sure have learned the hard way. I know a lot of people have learned the hard way, and that's one thing that it really doesn't take a lot of money to start something.
No.
You know, really what it takes a purpose, it takes a vision, right? If I'm focused on money and my product's driven off of money, you're only going to get so high. You're only going to go so far. But me, with my mindset, the way that I've envisioned this is like, let's build a team. That way we push the team, because guess what? This guy may pop, this one may pop, this one. Guess what? We're all going together. You know, we're all learning this shit together. So it's not necessarily like, oh, like one specific person is leading this shit or whatever. Like, hey, we're all doing this shit together. We're all learning together.
Yep.
You know, nobody's fucking perfect. Nobody does the shit just to do it. You know, so it really does take that type of that focus to be able to get to that level. You know, so. But Josh, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to you, man.
All right. Well, I'm Josh. We are Fan Productions, Vinte planning company. So, like, let me give you a little backstory about me. I ain't from nowhere, really. My family from the West Coast, Washington State, and like we moved around a lot. Got a big family, but like the whole point of We Are Fam is I'm the oldest of 6 boys, but never had a brother. Like, never really had a family, and this is what this is about. This is building a family. Never knew like real connection. Never really had long-term friendships and stuff like that, because people always disappoint. But over the years, through my I've been throwing events, been in the music industry since like 2004, and like really been doing it by myself until COVID hit, and I was seeing a few of my friends pass away because of it. They weren't getting no like. My vision for what I do is the fact that I put myself in this industry because I love the music. The music is the only thing that's ever kept me calm. The music's ever, like, I don't go to shows to get fucked up, get laid, get high or whatever. I go to music to be surprised for that, like, 15-second, 30 seconds that stops you in the tracks.
You go for the right
and, like,
reasons.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't like crowded, I really don't like crowded people. And if I'm talking, like, if I go to a show and shit, like, if I'm talking to someone more than 30 seconds because they're important, and I'm always looking for a task, I'm always looking to meet the right people or connect. Like I said earlier, I am the collector of minds and bringer of peoples because I have a knack for networking because I study people. That's my thing, and that's the way I've survived because I didn't come from like any kind of close to a good life or a childhood or anything like that. So like the fact that I'm still alive means
a lot.
Means a lot, yeah. Hell, I've had doctors tell me that statistically you should be dead. And like he was saying, we get to that point in our life, and we are the last generation where our family told us to go do this. That gave us that.
Yo, that's real.
Facts.
Like,
especially
straight
now.
Up,
That's
like,
millennial shit.
Yo,
yeah,
that's
straight up.
super
We
real. Yo.
We are the last generation that knows what it's like not to have a cell phone.
Facts.
We're the last
It is,
generation.
yeah, I agree,
like when
I
I
agree.
first threw my first show was at I used to be a part of a Christian metalcore band back home in Alabama. I claim Alabama because I stayed there when I was a kid, like for about 8 years.
Right.
And that was my high school type shit. And that's where my family was. We were an actual family for more than a year. And that only lasted like 4 years before it broke up again. But I digress. Like, we used to do real ass street team. We used to sell out that church because we were going to Java J's, Walmart, fucking the few places that we had and telling people about it. And we would still pack that shit out. And I love that aspect of it, that community aspect of bringing music to people. Because when you're from a small town and you ain't got nothing to look forward to, but going to church for some metal music, I wasn't even a Christian.
Yo,
Like,
I
straight
wanted to tap in, man. I think we all got something in common.
Yeah.
I never got to go to the shows like that, but I had some homies, and let me tell you, yo, don't be sleeping on the Christian heavy metal, bro.
Oh, straight up.
They're getting sturdy in the basement of the church.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, we about to turn this into
yo,
something.
Like
yo.
the first big group I booked was Norma Jean, Dillinger Escape Plan. You might know who that
Yep.
is. That's some
Yep.
that's some history right there.
Okay.
And there's a
Drop
lot
that
of,
knowledge,
a lot
let's
of your
go.
favorite bands out there was low key affiliated with such things too, man. So
I'm
you
just-
never know, man.
straight
Don't
up.
sleep on it though.
Bro,
Yeah.
rock goes deep.
Oh,
Rock
absolutely.
goes deep.
Hey, I grew up as a rock person. So
Culture,
hey,
deep
I
culture.
I was used to sing in a
Chuck
pop punk
Berry
band. Like
and-
that. I mean, I played 5 instruments as a kid. I played trombone.
That's amazing.
For jazz band.
You gotta go on
I was
AGT,
obsessed.
man.
Yeah, like we opened for Real Big Fish back in 2007, like in Raleigh,
I
North
know,
Carolina.
yeah.
And so like my whole thing is music is like what I believe God is. Let's just go there. So God to me, if you think of every attribute, every religion speaks that God is. The only thing that we can, as humans, as intelligent beings, to put every single attribute to a physical entity, and that is a sound wave. That is a frequency. Because even light is a frequency and a wave, a particle and a wave at the same time. So God to me is frequency, and the only time I ever felt real was listening to music, being a part of music, being a part of something that brings people together. Because like, I ain't never been the good talker type stuff. I communicate through music. I used to, like back when I was like a kid. That's how I communicated with people, was through music, like through my poetry, through making. I was a kid that burned the CDs. I had fucking Napster and shit like that.
bro.
I think
And
we all did.
Hey, straight up, that's how I got laid in high school. Bro, mixtaping it.
He was a mixtape plug.
Speaking of
Mixtape
mixtape-
plug.
Yeah.
Bro, speaking of mixtaping, I was the first person out of like probably 6 years and that came out of my high school to actually drop a mixtape in high school. You know what I'm saying? Because of course I wasn't the popular kid. I was the odd one out the bunch. I was the weird boy. I was the, you know what I mean, whatever. But it was like, I loved music so much that I told my homie, I'm like, bro, I'm about to drop a mixtape for the whole school. He was like, bro, you know they don't really fuck with you like that. I'm like, bro, I don't care. My shit's fire.
right.
I'm going to put it out. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, it's documented. It's gonna be out there.
Well, not only that, but my whole thing was like, bro, if you're gonna sit here and say you want to do it, then you have to actually do it. And the hardest thing for most people is taking that first step.
Because they don't know how to, and like that's true. A lot of people, especially people before our generation, we have the our parents told us to get the fuck out of the house.
Yeah.
And go find some shit to do. Like we'd be gone 5-6 hours after school, and come back with like dead snakes or like fucking
And they don't give a fuck. They just
broken
be like,
arm. Like come back with a broken arm hours after you break it, and they're like,
I play sports personally, but I do feel you. I do feel you for sure. Because if I wasn't there,
straight up. Nowadays, kids are afraid to go outside. Kids are afraid to do anything or challenge themselves. And like, and because we are in the age of Dowsian or the age of information, the age of Aquarius, now that is a double-edged sword because everybody has access to all the information at their fingertips.
Yep.
Right? That was the true the end of the world with Mayans because in 2012, that's when it became truly accessible. And
People still don't utilize it the way that they should.
no, they really don't. And like now with AI, like
bro, most people
that-
can't even tell the difference between the real shit and the fake shit.
Well, exactly.
What's a
because
calculator? What's his calculator?
But most people can't even notice that, bro.
and what's crazy,
wake
'cause,
up.
like people are very like youngins are very the old ones and the youngins are the susceptible ones because like you have people like us that can differentiate the real from the bad because we had that ability to grow up face to face with kids.
We grew
like
through it.
kids nowadays they ain't learning social skills because they ain't at each other.
Their phone is
Exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
that's funny that you bring that up though too, because this is just a thought too. Is how with kids they see negativity and all that shit online. How do they even know what that's really about? Like,
or if it's real.
I mean, exactly because you're watching it opposed to like us who went through it.
Yeah.
Because there's parents out there who are like, don't listen to that dumb shit.
Well, you also got to think about it like
hopefully there is parents out there saying that.
you also got to think about it like remember being a kid. Like when something wasn't right, you could feel that shit.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because
exactly. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
because it's become so interpersonal. Now, like when we were kids, we were face to face. We were with each other.
right.
We were doing shit without people watching us. We didn't have people cameras, shit like that.
Yeah.
That's how you learn. That's how you learn social skills. That's how you learn the understanding of human behavior.
And also,
I think that also makes it like comfortable for people to learn. For our generation, especially and the ones before, was the fact that a lot of the mistakes that we made was in a friends group. It wasn't like it was all out there now, or even crimes or anything. Everything is on camera now that people don't feel comfortable. You know what I mean? Or the people who do want that clown, which is crazy.
And that too, like especially like nowadays, because you can have 1,000 friends. Like nowadays, people ain't really experiencing what it's like to have a group.
well, they're not even real friends, bro.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
you got
social media friends.
like motherfucker,
exactly.
you got 1,000 followers on Instagram, but you only talk to 2 of them.
Right.
Like nowadays, you can
Yeah,
have long-term
exactly,
relationships and never even hear the motherfucker on the phone.
Yeah.
Or even know if they real type shit. Like, but that person is your everything. You've never even like been next to that person because have you ever sat down with someone they be a baddie dog, and you just feel funny.
Yeah.
Like no, you get that feeling because you when people talk, their brainwaves will sync up, and that has been proven through science. Your brainwaves will sync up, and that's what that
is what we're doing
intuition
here.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly what
That's
the fuck
that
we're doing here.
intuition is. And now we've been so desensitized, not only to that, to understanding each other's frequency, but we're desensitized to actual real violence. We're desensitized to the amount of information. So people are becoming empty shells with understanding and learning.
Well, and I blame that on technology, bro, because like growing up, like growing up before we was super heavy into cell phones and computers and all that shit, bro, you could tell, like, you have a sense of like what's real and what's fake. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you've been on the digital editing side, so you know what's real and what's fake.
Bro,
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
AI right there.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you have a different perspective, and it's like I feel like because we're so deep into social media, a lot of like millennials, Gen X's don't even have a chance to tell Gen Z or whatever, like, bro, this ain't real. This is real.
Exactly.
And they'd be like, nah, I think this is real. It's like, but how can you tell? It's like, bro, because I've been in the real world. I've been outside,
I've
bro.
been inside all day.
You know what I'm saying? I've been outside for like 12 hours today, bro. That's not real.
There's a reason why. There's a reason why we was drinking out of the hose.
Yeah,
and
bro.
not going inside and getting a
Exactly. You know what I'm
motherfucking
saying?
cup
Like-
because we were locked out.
Yo.
Hey, some of the shit the youngest would be like, "What the hell are they talking about?" What?
Yeah, bro. You know
Hey,
what I'm
y'all don't
saying?
know. Y'all don't know what it was. I mean,
Like, y'all
I
motherfuckers
think we should
ain't never had
rewatch
to-
episodes of To Catch a Predator, so you know your kids ain't know that shit. Man.
You know what I'm
Eminem
saying?
told us about Ken Kniff, man.
Bro,
shit.
You should
they
know.
told us about a lot of shit, bro.
He did. He really
They told
did.
us about a lot of shit, bro. They tried to tell us about Diddy multiple times, but ain't nobody want to listen. M tried to say it, Future tried to say it, Wayne tried to say it, Pharrell tried to say it. You know what
Eminem
I'm
been
saying?
saying it for years.
They're just like, nah,
Oh,
he's cool.
They just hating. They
He's a
just
black
hating.
billionaire. He's good. Like, nah, Brody.
Yo, so I think let this be y'all's first major piece of advice, and it's that, like, yo, whatever you see on the internet is probably really not real.
Nah, bro.
And if they making you think that it was just them that got there and that's how they blew up, and
No.
nah, I'm telling you right now,
No.
the only way any of this ever worked was from having a group of people that are rocking with you like this or
Yeah.
whatever. And if you still don't believe me, why don't you just go do some research on, I don't know, maybe your favorite business or whatever, and see how they look up their history and see how they got there. It ain't just one person in the puzzle. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Yeah, exactly.
not
You
only-
know what? And I was just talking to a friend about this the other day about being on this side of the industry, right? And I said, you think about the radio, you think about TV. We all grew up like, oh my gosh, look at that. Oh my! I mean, we were so fascinated by it. Well, guess what? You know that shit's real.
Yeah.
You know where they're at. You know that's a real setup.
Yeah.
That's real radio. That's real voices. That's real actors. You know, and I was just telling my homie about the. Actually, it was yesterday. I was telling James. I said, it's crazy to actually be in this side of the industry where you see all of that.
You
know,
really
like-
get a better understanding of people in general.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
especially when you do
yes.
understand the tricks of the psychology of video editing, the psychology of marketing or advertisement. I mean, people don't know this, but we see at least 10,000 ads a day.
Yes.
A normal
Or more.
person. A normal person. Everything is an
accept the
advertisement. And like that's what makes a lot of these motherfuckers fake, and it's hard to weed out the real ones. Like it really is.
Do not
Because-
accept cookies, y'all.
That's why I be saying, bro.
Real shit. When you
That's-
get online and they say accept cookies, that's how they know how you.
It's
You
big,
feel
yeah,
me?
the big data, the big data, man. They keep
picking
track
up
of
your voice or
everything,
whatever you
and
say,
yep.
all that look up.
I don't want to start jumping into random conspiracies or whatever.
Yeah.
Conspiracies
We
or
gonna get
whatever.
on
But
flat
I
earths or
will
something.
just say, low key, bro, that's been going on since
Yup.
Yeah,
50s,
I have-
60s,
Damn,
even
yeah.
before.
The invention
not
of that
how
shit.
It is where if you accept a cookie on your computer or phone,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
given
yeah, for
straight
sure.
Access to
Yeah,
whatever
well,
you
that
want.
like what
It's
he's saying is
never
it's
happened
always
like
been
that.
like that.
Yeah.
It's always since
It's just been hidden. Yeah,
yeah, it's been like
Yeah.
that since medieval times. Like straight up, the Catholic Church is really ones that started dynamiting.
Huge.
Like, no, that's real. And they just over the years and over the generations, they just changed their approach.
Right.
Nothing is new from under the
What's
sun.
weird though is that they actually let people know.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
nowadays-
accept, not accept. So it's like,
Yeah.
if it was
Nowadays,
so much
everybody
different
knows.
back then, why does it matter if we
See,
accept? I always tried to decline. I'm like, nah, y'all ain't
See,
gonna listen to
what's
me.
Yeah,
different
for real.
between like when we were kids and now is people willingly.
Yeah. Yeah.
People do this willingly. They give up their
more
rights.
less of a
They give up
liability
their
type.
privacy. They do it willingly for not leisure. What's the word on the ability to do like they give
It's
you a
for
little cookie, like you
convenience.
said, give them a little cookie.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, just accept this, or like that's a whole bullshit with like TikTok and shit. I don't fuck
Yeah.
with TikTok, but it's like we as in the media industry,
Yeah.
we have to be a part of it. We have to understand it, and we do have an upper hand in the sense that we
Yeah.
do understand it. And like
We get it,
when you're
but-
talking to the normies and trying to explain it to them, or like say one of your like homies getting fucked with, like you try to like look, there's a pattern to this.
Yes,
like
there
it's
is.
easy
Yes.
to motherfucking
It's
understand.
the way the
It's-
system is.
yeah, exactly.
built,
If you
like-
got a
Yeah,
blue
I mean,
check giving
it's-
you a motherfucking what is it called, a WhatsApp number, they ask you, don't accept it. I do have a question for y'all, all
Yeah, what's
three
up?
of y'all actually. I'm gonna start with Brandon.
What's up?
My question for you, Brandon, is that because you were given the nickname, and I believe it's true. It's still more to go, but it's definitely true. You're the eyes of the hip hop scene out here. You're one of them. Shout out Seth, which is a lot. You know what I mean? And we haven't even touched the rest of the hip hop scene, and we will. But can you please give just a little bit of what your other brand is, not just Good Karma, because Good Karma has to do with your paint, but what's the other brand where you help artists out? You want to be a part with, helping artists get their dreams out. Can you explain that and just give it a little bit?
I'm actually glad you asked me that question because recently I've been like rethinking everything. because I always wear good karma when I go out. I just was told, like, you got to start supporting yourself. And trust me, y'all, trust me, I'm gonna be an outfit repeater, so I don't want to hear nothing. Okay, so look, we represent. But I've started to notice, that like what good karma represents in my intention for the brand. Really, it kind of just encompasses everything I'm doing. It's just kind of becoming a part of who I am. What Justin's referring to is, I also have some interest in music and everything like that as well, and because of my military time. I came up with the name Department of Dreams, which is a play on the DOD, and the reason I did that was because I wanted to, obviously off the words like Department of Dreams, it's kind of like you're pumping it out, but like we want to do it in kind of like a methodical way. Like we can break it down in such a way that it just makes sense and it's going to work. And if anybody does have any time in service or whatever, then there's plenty of jobs out there that really could be taken care of by monkeys. You know what I mean? The military is really good about separating and breaking duties down and stuff like that. And so like, exactly. So it's kind of a little bit about that. So I'm kind of like going under a rebrand. I don't know exactly how I'm going to fashion it within everything. But yeah, that's what it is. Department of Dreams. Yeah.
Part of it. What do you do out of this stuff? What you do with music and from you do photography. We know you do videos. What else do you do?
Yeah. So like I said, I have an interest in music, which means naturally I've just kind of developed my own skill level of music production and stuff like that. I was doing music reviews. I guess I still kind of am open to it, but it's kind of been backburnered. Look, it's gonna sound goofy. I wish I had a more of I guess like a scientific answer for you on why, but I don't know, man. Like some music just speaks to me. I feel like I have an ear for it a little bit. And then also like just from working in like music production and stuff like that. Like I've been able to notice that like people are really putting stuff out that's trash, and it's no offense to you,
popularized,
man. Because it's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah, and it's no offense to anybody who has to do it that way or whatever. But like we take somebody like me who's really just preaching like, hey, just come through. I'm super reasonable. Like I will help you, like get a level. Yes, exactly. And like
because everybody's music's trash from the get-go. If I showed you so much shit when I was 14 years old,
but understanding things like, oh, maybe you could layer like panning, you know what I'm saying? Just getting better at EQing, because I've learned that like that's really 80% of your mix.
Mastering,
compression is a big one, and all of this extra stuff.
Understanding, being able to master someone's voice. Now, like straight up understanding the frequency. I mean, the human voice is only from like 1.5 to like 4,000, 5,000 kilohertz, and being able to tune out certain aspects of someone's voice like that. And I'll tell you this: if you're a rapper, if you're a singer, if you're any kind of performer, you need to learn how to EQ your own voice.
That's very important, because a lot of these people are paying like out the wazoo. You're paying for the engineer, the studio setup or whatever, and you don't even know what they're doing. As an artist who wants to keep being an artist, it's time to learn what's going on.
Oh, please let me chime in on that.
You could just come see your boy, and we could do half of whatever he was gonna do in that session for half the price. Look, and I'm not trying to undercut anybody, but the reality is like once you learn, and that's let me just circle back real quick about everything we were saying too about being in media and being in production and everything. Yo, all of us, we don't live beneath the veil. Like we've seen what's behind the Iron Curtain, not Iron Curtain. The one from Emerald City. What was the dude behind the curtain? The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz.
Like we've seen the operation. So like once that happens, it's no unseeing it. And trust me, like do your research, y'all. Like A lot of y'all are wasting your time and money for what you're getting out, but that's a whole.
Hey, and learn to be.
Oh,
learn
please
to
let
be
me
tough.
let me chime in. Not only on what he said about like making trash music and not putting in the effort to teach yourself how to elevate your craft. First of all, because if you really want to be an artist that's being taken seriously in this music genre, in this music industry at all, bro, you cannot be a one-trick pony. First of all. You cannot be a one-hit wonder, second of all. And third of all, you cannot be known for putting out half-ass mixes, half-ass songs, or half-ass fucking shit. Like, bro, the reason you like your favorite artist is because they gave a fuck about what the fuck you heard through your own ears that came out of their fucking studio, out of their mouth, out of their brain, out of their expressionism, bro. Like they took you into, as a listener, into consideration when they made the song. So it wasn't just like, oh, I think this is hot, you know what I'm saying, because I like it. It's like, nah, this is really going to tap in with the people, you know what I'm saying? It hits a certain audience, you know what I'm saying? I do like the song as an artist, you know what I'm saying? And it checks a lot of those boxes for not only just good music, but a professionally crafted product, bro, which is what your music is. That's what your brand is. That's when you become an entertainer or a music artist or even an actor or an athlete, bro. You are the product.
Performer.
You are
You're
the
brand.
you know what I'm saying?
You
You
build
are
your
the
brand.
brand.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to look at it from that perspective. Otherwise, your shit's never going to be taken nowhere, no matter how much money or effort you put into it.
Right.
And I mean, I agree with you 100%. But I got so some of the best music ever made, most of the best music ever made, what came from a place of pain.
Yeah.
Came from a place of trauma. Came from a place of intense. Now, have you why do you think a lot of countries, certain songs, they don't understand what the fuck they saying, but you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what you
Yeah,
like.
it's what
It could
you
be a
resonate
pop
with.
song. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a pop song. It could be an upbeat song, but you felt that pain. You felt what they were going through. You understood through the sound what they went through, and that I mean, we do like when we leave an area, we leave our intent. We leave frequencies behind. That and there was a scientist I got obsessed with the paradox of silence and how it is not real. There's no such thing as silence. And like you can go to, there's this guy that went to Buddhist temple that hadn't been touched in 1,000 years and recorded the silence there and looked at the frequencies. Went to Chernobyl, went to the Auschwitz, went to all these places and fucking found out that us as humans, we leave behind either good or bad vibes, good or bad frequencies wherever we go. And yes, hone your craft, whatever. But like even so, make the music for yourself because you're telling your story. You don't even have to tell your story. Just write about what you went through, what drove you, what made you realize that this is what you needed to do to be okay. Because we're all doing this because we need to be okay. We all come from our different backgrounds, but we know that we need this.
And it's the way you display that intent is really what matters. Like, absolutely make music for yourself, but the way you display that intent, bro, is what makes people either fuck with you or not fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's how you, like when it comes to advertising and promoting and shit like that, bro, you have to think about how is what you're trying to put out into the world, regardless of what it is, gonna come across to whoever you want to receive it.
Right. Well,
You know what I'm
especially
saying?
on top of, the amount of, the work and all that stuff, obviously we all have brands, but also what's going to happen when we become the brand. You think of these athletes, you think of everybody out there that they have their logo, they have what they represent, but also they start to become the brand.
Yeah, and that
so-
psychologically that does fuck with you.
Exactly,
Like I was watching
yeah.
an interview with like Marshmello, and he was talking about who was it? The Body is a Wonderland song guy, Ed Sheeran. He was talking to Ed Sheeran about Ed Sheeran was looking at him like you can just walk around, you can just go places. And
because nobody knows who he is.
Because nobody really knows who he is.
He got that mask on.
Well, yeah, exactly. It does change you, and if you're not ready for it, and that goes back to like if you want to be in this industry, you can't be a pussy.
No, you cannot
can't.
at all.
Like
can't be
this
a
the music
at all.
industry, it doesn't matter if it's hip hop. I've been in many different industries in the music, EDM, pop, punk, rock, metal, hip hop. everything. It is all the same. This is just as bad as the film industry. This is just as bad as any kind of media industry, because most of us are
and there's
not right in the head. Like, what is the
and a lot of the tactics come from the mafia when they took over all the labels and everything in the 50s and 60s. So a lot of these tactics that you see nowadays are just very corrupt, man. Shit, the Italian mob had that on lock. Chris, I want to ask you this question, because I feel like people don't know about you and know about the things that you've done, you know what I mean, through this music career of yours. You come from Virginia, you know what I mean, North Carolina, or the East Coast, South. So can you explain a little bit more about what you've done in the DMV area and how you got to where you're going now with the vision and everything else that you got going? Because you started somewhere, and there's a lot of information that you know. Let the people know who the hell you are.
Yo, so yeah, I kind of always end up being like the secret weapon or the behind the scenes plug on a lot of information, because I have been on radio multiple times. I have performed with celebrities.
I was in Baltimore.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So in Virginia, I was with a group called the Council for a little bit, and you know, we racked up to doing college tours.
Fire.
We racked up to working with Chris Brown's vocal coach and doing a few celebrity features.
Fire.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, when you working with a group, you know what I'm saying, that's when the egos start to come in and people, you know what I mean, start to get out of pocket. So, you know, of course, we had our classes and our correlations, and I had to go my separate ways, but what I took from that was an understanding of how to deal with certain egos and certain people in a group.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So when I moved to Baltimore and I was in that position to do that again, I decided from learning from my first lesson, I'm like, you know what? No, I'm going to write my own contract, and I'm going to have whoever I work with sign my contract, because I understand what the vision is, and I'm not going to take it off the rails. So that means that if you want, and the thing is, like, I've always been viewed, at least when it comes to music, I don't know about the rest of my life, but I've always been viewed when it comes to music as like the key or the missing piece, or like the one that's gonna get us there type shit. You know what I'm saying? And the only reason it's been like that is because I studied the others, the greats before me. And when I say study, I don't mean just like, oh, I listen to their songs and they're fire and they're cool people and all that shit. Right. No. Why do people like you?
So you are generation's Rick Rubin, huh?
Hey man, I had some look,
because that man can't play an instrument for his life. He don't know shit about music, but that man.
Well, the thing is, I was in percussion growing up from 6th grade to senior year. You feel me? So like, I understand a lot of the different dynamics that a lot of people who come into the music industry don't. From the actual craft itself, whether you're doing rock, hip hop, jazz, emo, whatever the fuck, whether you're and then from the actual recording of it, like I know how to go in and talk to the engineers. I know what I'm looking for out of the sound. I know what I'm looking for out of the mix and the master. You know what I'm saying? I know how to make sure you keep your masters. I know how to copyright my own songs. I understand what it is that distribution companies actually do and why you don't really even need to pay these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? I understand the fact that you can fucking take your shit, put it on an independent platform, and without having to spend $100,000 fucking blow that shit the fuck up, because your marketing was creative, because you actually built an organic crowd that's gonna come in and give you those real views and pack those seats for real.
Facts.
And it's also understanding how to talk to an artist that you know is dope, has potential, you want to work with them, but you know they ego on some bullshit. So that's part of what I mean about coming down to somebody's level, bro. It's like, yo, I understand that you think you're the hottest nigga in the city, but the city doesn't think you're the hottest cat in the city. So if you really want to be able to stand on that, then let's show them it, but show them it in the right way.
But also think about this too, because we've been around a lot of great people, a lot of course, those people that have the egos and shit. They see what we're doing, and it completely humbles them. Completely changes the game.
Facts.
Because it's like, no, this us having the team that we do, and again, that goes to my point of why we build this fucking team. Because if you have one ego driven, you're gonna go get yourself another 2 or 3 ego driven motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly. That's why my production company is We Are Family, because it's got to be a family. Because if my ego will get out of hand, and I need family to check me.
Right.
And I need
But for the
people
right
like
way,
if I,
but-
well,
yeah, yeah.
even so, like check me. Like if you feel like I put my trust in you, I consider you family. You part of my family. So check me, straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, as part of my family, I'm going to respect that, even if I don't. Even if I don't react the way I want to, because what do people do when you confront them with the way they're acting?
I have one more question.
Accountability. We're
I have
about
one more-
accountability.
I have
Yeah,
one more question I
exactly.
want to ask because we only got a little bit of time left.
What's up?
And that's for you. So you have We the Fam, that's a production company and
Yep.
all that. So like, what was probably like, if you especially give the advice for people who want to start being a promoter and getting into the situation that you in, what is the best advice you can give, and what is like the worst thing that you went through, and how did you get out of it or get past it, like as an example?
Okay, the best advice I can give to someone: don't believe everything you hear from artists, people in the industry at all. Like that, people can pitch.
Gaslight.
Like straight up, people can pitch you anything. Yo, do research on the people. Like if someone wants sells you a pipe dream, got a great ass idea. Well, okay, now we live in the age of information. Do your research. That's how that's why I call myself the collector of people, the collector of minds and bringers of people. Because if I'm going to work with someone, you better believe I'm going to know everything about you. I'm going to know if I want to book someone, I'm going to introduce myself. I have a whole campaign. I'm going to introduce myself or send them a message, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to start popping up on their friend group. I'm going to find out who this is. I'm going to start showing up at your events. So I'm going to get you to come to me.
And
Exactly. And I got a reputation for a reason. There's a reason why I know people. And the worst thing that ever happened to me was learning that lesson.
Wow. Okay. Wow.
You know, it's up to 5% of us to provide 95% of the world of documentation.
Exactly.
That's why that is. Exactly. Instagram,
And like, don't get
that's
it. And another
why we
thing,
have social media.
don't get attached to people. And build your core team. Find the right people. I've went through many teams, right? Many teams. Build your core team. And like starting this new venture with this man right here. And I mean, hell, like I didn't even fuck with him when I first met him, in the sense of I didn't talk to him that much.
Right.
Because I wasn't at his frequency at that time. I wasn't even same with you. Like I don't let people get to know. Like
it takes certain
I'm the
moments.
same way,
so
brother.
my favorite
The
lyric,
same
my
way.
favorite hip hop lyric is, "I hold my issues up for all to see, like show and tell." A lot of people know me, but they don't know me well.
Who was that?
Yeah.
NF.
Yeah, it
Now,
was MF. Rest in
alright,
peace.
the last thing I'm gonna say is, build your core team. Stay away from the biddies that are in the industry,
Yeah, facts.
and do your research on your people. Have people you can talk to, you can go to. Like, look, this person sold me this snake oil. Like, what do you think about it? Like, have someone, have a person, have a partner that you can go to and run it through. You feel me?
Last words,
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yeah. Okay. So, well, first of all, thank you, Derek, for having us on.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys.
It's an honor
Appreciate you guys coming on.
as
man.
well. Only thing I want to leave the people with, good karma. You put into the world what you get back. We was talking
Facts.
about frequencies and all of that. Like, it's gonna align, yo. And so that's what it's about. So you can visit www.goodkarma.com with 2 U's. Yeah, KRMA. Man,
that,
you
read
know,
that.
when you buy some merch, you support me, but you're really supporting yourself and other like-minded individuals. The only other thing I got for y'all is stay good, man. Stay good.
I got
And-
one more. I got last words.
Go ahead.
Also, do not manifest. That's bullshit. What you got to do is manifest and align yourself into what you want to do as well. That's a great start. I had to align myself into this hip hop scene last year, and it built on to me meeting Derek and then all these 3 great people. So you have to align yourself. You can manifest anything you want. It'll be just a thought, but if you don't put in that work and putting yourself in that alignment, you're not gonna go anywhere.
I appreciate you guys coming on. Go like, follow, subscribe, share. All these amazing individuals. Let's go, baby. Be great.
Yeah,
We out back.
Get it.